took my headphones off and I went, yeah? And there was nothing there and he was still fast asleep. Decided, you know what? 1927 is when I'm gonna run about the house like Scooby-Doo.
Can you imagine if you like started noticing it every time he does it and it's always 1927? How creepy.
I don't know what it is. He's been fine. Maybe that's it. Maybe he's been asleep for so long that he's suddenly been like, you know what?
Has he eaten or?
Yeah, I've just fed them.
Oh my god.
I was like, I'll feed them.
Because I know some animals get it like post dinner or like post poop.
Yeah.
Like the poop zooms, which I always find really
He does get poop zooms. He does. Anyway, what an intro.
Wow.
Talk about my cat just before anything else happens. We're talking about my cat. He has the zoomies.
He has poop zooms.
Well, he doesn't.
Imagine if people got like poop zooms.
Oh my god, imagine. Maybe some people do.
Maybe.
Yeah, so if you hear Jensen in the background, I'm sorry. Pretend he's a ghost because this is a spooky episode and he can be the eerie music. Wows. Wows.
He wowsing. No howling, it's just wowsing.
Yeah, he's the worst. Anyway,
aww.
Spooky episode.
Yeah.
Because we both had our lives fall apart.
I'm unmedicated.
Yeah. I am depressed, so here we are
doing
a spooky episode because we fucked around and found out and didn't have a guest.
Yeah.
So you get
due to scheduling issues and
it's mostly my fault. Like, we can blame me for going away and us being overconfident at what we could achieve.
Well, it wasn't until like Tuesday I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. And the problem is with organising the podcast is you have to schedule up 3 diaries to make sure, and we want to have a nice topic. And yeah, I want to feel the guests feel like they're welcome and not just like, quick, we need somebody. And also you have to edit it. So
yeah, I
mean, the first 2 minutes have been gold. No need to cut any of that. Anyway.
The true horror is the unedited version of this.
Yes. This is going to be our spooky episode where I am going to try and spook Sib. I don't think I've done a very good job, but we will see. And then we will talk about scary things like backlog. The crunch.
Oh my god.
Here's the real spooky. My first horror story is MCM is in a week, guys.
Oh my god. No pressure. Actually, by the time this goes out tomorrow, not today,
behind the magic,
it will be less than a week.
Yeah, guys, you have less than 5 days.
Oh, especially if you travel on a Thursday, you're fucked.
So there you go. There's the first. Does that scare you? Does that scare you, Sib?
I mean, I'm not crunching, so no.
I should be crunching, and instead I'm recording a spooky podcast and trying to freak myself out.
I love the way you, of all people, are gonna try.
I am not going to try and spook you properly because all that will happen is I'll end up scaring myself more. Also, I'm 90% sure that I wouldn't be able to find anything that you haven't already seen, heard, or read, because I was like, I'll go in the back rooms, and I was like, well, no, because Sib will know all that. And so
I weirdly don't. I don't really do back rooms. That, and I know a few. I can't remember what they're called. You know, like Siren Head and all that lot.
Oh, SCP?
Yeah, I know a few of those, but I don't know a lot.
Oh well, maybe we'll do a brief interlude, and I'll quickly run through the back rooms because I thought you'd know them, so I was like,
I know of them.
That'd be old hat to Sib.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to kick it off with one of my favourite things, which is poems written by children.
Okay.
So, these are poems written by children. Some of them meant to be creepy, I guess. Some of them, I don't know. So this first one is anonymous, sadly. So we don't know the name and age, but I will read it to you. The slithery D, he lives in the sea. He saw all the others, but he didn't see me.
The slithery D.
Yep. Ooh. He lives in the sea. He saw all the others. He didn't see me. Why would a child write this?
Yeah. It's like when you see those videos of kids and they're like talking to someone and then the camera pans in the room and there's no one there and you're like,
yeah, kids are creepy. Okay, so the next one. I only have 3, so this is the next one. This is by Gabby, who is 9.
Mm-hmm.
So this is her poem. which wasn't meant to be scary. I feel like they need to. This was just write a poem for your school.
Oh, okay.
And this is the poem that Gabby9 chose to write. The fire is red as blood. I watch the flames go up in the air as I taste the sadness of the people whose houses have burnt to the ground. I turn back. All I hear is the bursting explosions.
Okay, Gabby's been summoned. Gabby wasn't born. She might be 9. She's been on Earth for 9 years.
The name of her poem is Red as Blood, so...
Oh my god.
That's...
What kind of dreams is this girl having?
And now, my personal favourite, which I had to... This inspired me to do the whole thing, but this was written by someone's 7-year-old son, and it was written for his sister's birthday, so...
I pulled a face. I know you can't see it, but I kind of just furrowed my brows like, what the fuck?
No one knows where he lurks, but he's only after the birthday girl. He'll suck blood. It's the Vampire King. He dangles off the darkest trees. You see him fall if he has a feast. He'll be human once and for all. He'll take over the world.
Oh. That reminded me of the film Sinister.
Really?
Yeah, there's a thing with, I think it's Sinister, but there's a thing with the hanging tree in the back.
Well, clearly this man, 7-year-old, watched that movie and was like, do you know what would make a great poem for my sister's birthday?
There's no vampires. I don't know what a Vampire King is.
This was on Twitter, and the person actually shared a picture of the original handwritten.
Oh, was it written like a demon? Scratched in blood?
It's like going sideways. And it's joined up writing, which I think is very impressive for a 7-year-old.
7-year-old? I know adults that can't do cursive. Jeez.
Yeah, so those are my 3 kids' poems. There was another one that was very funny by a 7-year-old daughter who basically is very long, which is why I didn't include it. But it starts off like guts of a human, a live slug, blah blah blah, and then it just gets down to her dissecting Niall Horan from One Direction.
Oh my god, that's disturbing.
So weird. So
do you reckon they sent it to him? Like, this is a fan letter, and he goes, "Oh, this is cute. It's from like a kid." And he opens it, and he's like, "This kid's murdered me. This is a threat."
So the last few lines are half a spider, head of Niall Horan, guts of Niall, method, twist the rat bane and boil it, cut the slug in half, rip Niall's guts in 2 and put them in his neck. Add a pinch of cinnamon.
You gotta add the cinnamon, otherwise it's not complete.
Oh my time to just be like,
oh my god, and that just furthers my thing of like, you know, like past lives, all that shit. Like, and this kid is some witch from who's been burnt at the stake and has come back and has said, "You, Niall, your spirit has been on this planet before, and you were the one who burnt me."
I just think kids are little weirdos.
Kids, they're the scariest things of all.
Yeah, there's another true horror story. So those are my little poems just to ease you in. And then, we have 2 choices here. We can either go and look at some like British folklore that I found, which I found quite interesting.
Do you love some folklore?
Or I have Japanese folklore.
Oh, Japanese folklore is great.
Because I have a compendium that Fletcher Kingswood Cosplay bought me for my birthday. And I love it. And so I went through it and I picked out 3 goofy little guys and 3 actual, like, quite scary yokai. And then 1 that I think you'll just enjoy.
Nice.
So, do you want to go Japan or Britain?
Let's go Japan.
Oh, okay. Correct answer. Okay, so 3 goofy little guys. Obviously, this is based on a compendium I have, and folklore is, like, funky in that it changes. The whole point of folklore is that, like, it's spoken and passed down through generations, right? So what I'm talking about might not match, I don't know, what you think of these beings. But anyway, so also forgive my bad pronunciation because Japanese is hard. But the first one is Senbiki Okami, which are just basically wolves that stand on each other's shoulders to make a ladder.
Okay.
And I just think that's really funny. They're just a bunch of wolves. So the legend is that a lady, Coria, and a woman were walking through the forest. They got chased by wolves. So they climbed a tree, as you do. And the wolves climbed on each other's shoulders and became a living ladder. But the ladder was 1 wolf short in order to reach them. So
I'm 1 wolf short of a full ladder.
It happens to all of us.
What a phrase.
So they summoned the blacksmith's wife
Mm-hmm.
who basically was an enormous white wolf wearing an iron kettle as a hat.
Oh.
And yeah, basically, she climbs the ladder, gets hit with a sword, her kettle cracks, and they all disappear. But yeah, that's just some silly little wolf ladders,
Wolf ladders.
which just made me laugh. Okay. The second little goofy guys. I don't know. I find this really funny, but you might not. And if you like animals, you might not. But
Mm.
this is Kodama Nezumi, and they're basically tiny spherical mice. They look like your mice. They're big, or they're small and round. They live in Tohoku. They're rarely encountered. They're really rare. But if you if you do see one or like stumble across one, they swell up like a balloon and explode.
Oh, I think I've heard of those.
um,
You like perceive them and they go, ah, poof.
yeah,
You're like, oh.
yeah, they explode and splatter you with various things, blood,
Mm.
guts, and stuff.
Viscera.
And basically, it's bad luck to continue hunting once you've been exploded on by a mouse. I mean, I think it's bad luck anyway if you get exploded on by a mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, and my last silly little goofy guy. This one's gonna be hard to describe because the way they look is incredible, so maybe I'll send a picture afterwards, but oh, here we go for the pronunciation. Bake Icho no Se, which are basically spirits of ginkgo trees, but they're just funny little guys. They're just bright yellow. They wear tattered robes. They carry a gong, and they're just these little dudes, and they just go around banging their gong by the tree. And they're not very harmful, but if they live under your house, then you'll get sickness and misfortune. But I just think they look mad, and hopefully they don't curse me. But I'm gonna see if I can find a picture on Google. Yeah, they're just silly little guys. I don't know if you want to. I'll send a picture rather than Google it.
Mm.
Obviously, you need the spelling, unless people at home want to look. So BAKEICHONOSEI. They're just little guys. But yeah, I just think they're really goofy, and I really like them. And it's well, I mean, most yokai in Japanese folklore aren't actively they're not actively hostile or harmful.
He gives me calcifer vibes.
Oh, he does. But yeah, there's another picture of one here. Silly little guys. There you go. Just a goofy little guy. Those are my three goofy little guys. And then I'll share the one that I think you'll think is neat.
Mm-hmm.
But it's Yogen no Tori, and it is a prophecy bird, so it tells the future. And it's a two-headed crow. One head is black and one head is white. And they're just holy animals that come with messages. Yeah, they bring prophecies from the gods, and if you look at one, it's meant to give you good luck and protect you from harm.
Nice.
So, because I know you like crows,
Yeah.
I thought, what's better than a crow? A crow with two heads that tells the future. Those are the ones that are nice and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought I'd do some vaguely spookier ones without being too spooky because I'm a coward. So, Yanagi Onna, they're spirits that appear at willow trees at night, and they're young women carrying babies in their arms, and they're normally crying and begging for help. And then if you go and help them, then you get dragged into the water, normally.
Oh, kind of anglerfish style.
Yeah, but the reason that they came about was because a woman was by the river with her baby, and she got entangled in the willow trees and they strangled her, and now she kind of
Lures other to
by the
the
willow tree and is mad about it.
Mm.
But funnily, there's also another yokai which is related to willow trees, who are like old ladies, and they just hate men. So any men that come near them, they just like make them trip, make them ill, and they're like, you get warned about them when you're like walking and traveling and stuff. So it's weird that there are two willow tree based.
Yeah, there's always. I think there's something people fascinating by willow trees. I don't know why.
I guess they're very like unique trees if you
Hmm.
think about it.
Ironically, one of my favorites.
Oh, well, I mean, that does check out. We'll do. Oh, this one next. Oh my god, pronunciations.
Oh no.
Shitanaga Uba, who are elderly women with extremely long tongues, which doesn't sound that bad, but basically they live in hovels in the mountains, and you like go into the hovel for protection from the elements or like somewhere to sleep, and she offers you shelter, and then when you fall asleep, she licks the flesh and blood from your body
Oh
with her big tongue.
no, not the tongue.
So yeah, she's horrible. Don't look her up if you want to be able to sleep tonight, because She's grim.
I know.
And the only way to kind of survive them is to stay awake, which kind of goes against the whole point of like sheltering from a storm. I guess you have to stay awake in the storm, but yeah, so you have to stay awake because whilst you're awake, she stays a little old lady who like makes tea and spins cloth and stuff. But if you fall asleep, she will lick the bones and blood, no, the flesh and blood from you and leave you a bleached white skeleton, according to the legends, which is unpleasant. Okay, and then the last one. Well, it's not really a horror. Well, it kind of is, but it's trying to think of how to describe it. It's vaguely spooky, shall we say. So, Jugoku Taiyu is a legend from Osaka, and it's about a yujo, which is kind of like an oiran. It's a level. So they were like courtesans, but not like the way geisha were. These were like ladies of the night courtesans. And basically, she had a tragic life, got sold, and became a yujo, which became a courtesan. And she became a really good one. She was really popular. She got the highest rank possible. And I can't remember what her name was. I think she's like Lady Hell, something like that. And she used to wear kimonos covered in fire and skeletons and stuff. She sounded like a badass, not gonna lie.
That sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah, she sounds hella cool. She was known as sarcastic, seductive, and terrifying, which I like.
That's how I want to go. That's how I want to be known.
So, like her pick and choose of any clients, like she didn't have to faff with anyone. And then a monk came to town called Ikkyu, and he went to the brothel to meet this Kirsten that he'd heard so much about. She basically met him by reciting a poem, being like, "You're a monk, what are you doing here?" He replied with his own poem that was like, I mean, I'm a monk, bodies mean nothing, it's about the spirit, so it doesn't matter what my body does. So they had a poetry competition where they went like back and forth, and he wrote another poem about how seeing hell in person is more terrifying than hearing about it. Like, basically, he chatted her up by poem. And so each night he would come and like drink to excess and eat loads of food, which monks aren't supposed to do. So she decided to test him to see if he was a true monk because he shouldn't be drinking and eating and stuff. So she set up a room with him and a bunch of young girls, like courtesan girls, to dance with him. And she observed in the next room, and she noticed that when she looked at the shadows, they weren't human. So she took a peek through the door, and all the dancers had become skeletons.
Oh, cool.
So she entered the room, and as she did, everything reverted back to normal. The monk passed out from drinking. When he woke up, he threw up, and all the things he had eaten, like the fish and stuff like that, turned back to live carp as he vomited into the lake. And then basically he answers really cryptidly and says some stuff like that, like, aren't we all just skeletons anyway? And then just kind of, well, no. And then she's like, maybe I should repent and become a nun. And he's like, no, don't do that. You'd be wasted as a nun. And then he just kind of dances away into the night. So she basically then donated all of her money to charity. And when she died, she asked to be buried into a field so that she wanted to be buried in a field so that she could feed the dogs, basically.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so it's a weird one, but it's such an interesting story, and she sounds so cool that, like, she's just there, like, you know what, I'm gonna have my skeleton kimono on, I'm gonna win poetry contests, we're gonna see about just dance skeletons.
Sounds great.
But there's lots of cool stories about her, and, like, the legends about her, so that's one I recommend looking into. But yeah, that's an Osakan one as well, which I like. But yeah, those are my little Japanese stories.
Oh, yeah.
Are you spooked? Are you
terrified.
I mean, they're not that scary. I am but a coward.
It's like, so we tried to do a coming clean here. We tried to do one of those tap-in horror stories thing. And I posted a couple, and your message of like, I thought we were doing fun scary. Yeah. I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I wanted to do fun scary, not scary. Although, kind of apt for this recording, today, as I was coming back from B&M, this car followed me, and I thought it was really weird. So I pulled into, like, the estate that I live on, and it still followed me, and I was like, that's super weird. And they pulled into my drive, which is, like, I live on a cul-de-sac, so people just don't drive into my drive. And the car, like, pulled in behind me, and I started freaking out so much, because it's not one of my neighbour's cars. And it was like this big 4x4. And I was like, what is happening? And then it was just a lady with her kids in the back. And then she drove off. And I was like, was she following me because she was lost and like maybe she thought I could lead her?
Oh, maybe. It is quite a maze around there.
Out. But yeah, I just sat in my car like, I'm just going to stay in my car till this car is like left. But I was like, I'm not doing that. I do not need this today.
Oh, they're really like, I drove up to my dad's, right, and he lives in the middle of like Lincolnshire, so it's country roads,
Mm.
and I'm talking single track where there's the ditches on either side for the fields, and it's like a good like 8-foot ditch, and it's foggy and it's dark, and I'm like, I
I
hate
hate that.
this,
I
and
hate it.
like when you put main beam on and it's worse.
Oh yeah, because of the fog.
Yeah, because of the fog. That's how bad it was. And then there's no one around. There's the I can see the main road off in the distance. There's no streetlights, of course. And then in my rear view, I just see 2 headlights. And I'm
No,
just like, this is how Jeepers Creepers 2 starts.
no,
Like, this is exactly how it starts, because obviously it's, it's
no. I don't
horrible.
know, Sim. Why have what have I ever seen this movie?
And like, they were just getting closer and closer and closer. And I was like,
No.
I can't speed up because I can't see.
Mm.
And it was one of those things where like the road at the end just didn't seem to be getting closer, and you're just like,
Oh, I
I'm still
hate.
going. Yeah. But thankfully I reached the road and they turned off one way and I turned off the other.
No, there's something about driving around at night. Like if I'm
Yeah.
coming back from like someone's house and it's like 2 a.m. or something, I'll see other cars on the road and I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you know what? I am out here at 2 a.m., but what are you doing?
I mean, this was like 8 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, it's still horrible. I
Yeah,
mean, in the
it
fog
was
as
it was
well.
so dark.
Yeah, I remember I went to see Rogue One at the cinema
Hmm.
with my aunt, and it must have been like 10 o'clock. And this was in Torquay, so like tiny, well, not tiny, but like not a huge town. And we both saw it, and then we both went our separate ways. And I just walked home, and
Mm.
it was like, it must have been about midnight by the time it finished, because Rogue One's a couple of hours, right?
Yeah.
So it was about midnight. It was such thick fog that like I could barely see. And I just walked home and I was like, what was I thinking? Like a 2 minute walk or like half-hour walk by
Like,
myself. I was
oh.
like, yeah, that was stupid. I mean, it was a good film, but yeah, I did freak myself out walking back, being like, I don't like this. Is like a Silent Hill
Yeah.
level. I don't like this. But
That was me editing at night, scaring myself
no,
with my
no.
chest.
From what I've heard about your spooky flat, I don't like it.
See, the thing is, it hasn't happened in so long, and then it happened last week, and I was like, cool, love this for me. So
But also, you didn't sleep for like 48 hours, so I feel like
that was before the 28 hours. So this was the second all-nighter I was doing. And so my partner Daniel was asleep in the bed behind me, because we have a studio. And it's dark, and I've been watching a streamer that I love play Phasmophobia.
oh god, no.
Already a good start. And I was like, it's sort of the grudge hisses that I kind of, especially as I'm wearing headphones, because obviously I can't have it out loud, so it's like in my ears, it's in my
Yeah.
brain, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch something a bit more friendly, like. And so I switched over to another streamer who was playing like Planet Zoo. So he's just like building a zoo. He's like, oh, look at the turtles. I'm like, cool, fine, vibing, still editing away. And it must have been about 2:30, so it's coming up to the witching hour, which is, for people who don't know, 3 a.m. is supposed to, not midnight, is the witching hour, which is when spirits are supposed to be most active.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's why 3s are very important in witchcraft.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sat there, it's like 2:30. And I thought, I was, laughing at what he was doing and stuff. And he's like, oh, I really should go to bed. Or I just want to do this. And I'm kind of, amusing myself.
Mm.
And I feel this, like, double tap on the back of the chair. Like, I don't know if you hear me thud.
Yeah, I did.
But I felt it in the chair. And I turned over my right shoulder, which is open into the room. Because Daniel normally stands on my right side. So, because you can't really get to the left.
Yeah.
And I took my headphones off and I went, yeah. And there was nothing there, and he was still fast asleep.
I hate that.
I went, oh, okay, we're going to do this tonight, are we? So I turned back round, and now above where my laptop is a mirror.
No.
And I'm just like, don't look in the mirror, don't look in the mirror. Don't. And I was like, I'm going to have to. Because if I don't, it will creep me out more. So I ended up looking over my laptop screen into the mirror to make sure there's nothing behind me.
I hate that. Oh, I'm never going to your apartment ever again. Absolutely not.
But it's not the first time it's happened.
You need some sage. Is all
probably.
Like,
yeah.
I'm not going around your house unless I have sage on me now. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah. But it was, I was just like, oh, okay. And I'd already worked out that my monitors were reflected in this TV screen. So the TV screen's on my right, and I know any flicker of light from my right is my monitor.
Right.
Because I'm flicking back and forth between images
Yeah.
and the streams are playing and stuff. And I'm just like, it's fine. It's nothing. It's just naturally cold in here.
No, I really don't like it. I'm such a coward. I swear to God.
Yeah, I was like, do I go to bed? And I was like, no, no, keep going. So
I
I
I
stayed
can't
up.
deal with that. Absolutely not.
It was quite terrifying. But yeah, it's shit like that happens.
I don't like that.
I mean, the amount of times I've walked into to talk to Daniel, going, "What did you say?" And he's like, "I didn't say anything." And I'm like, "Cool." Just hearing shit. But I
Excellent.
do watch like people playing like Phasmophobia, and I watch like Ghost Hunted YouTube and like all that kind of shit. So I do it to myself.
I can't. No, I'm such a coward.
I have such a good ghost theory though from watching them. So you know you always see like, oh, we're going to the spooky haunted like hotel. This was built in God knows when, and loads of people died here during like a plague because people or the war, whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter which war. There was a war, and there's always that thing of like, oh, you see a little girl called like Annabelle or Elizabeth or
Hmm.
something. There's always like a little girl dressed in white. But they also say there's a deep, dark, demonic spirit that's been summoned here. And I'm just like anglerfish. So the little
Yeah.
girl is a lure.
Yeah.
And like everything, I've watched so many things, like the Conjuring House, Queen Mary, like so many places, like the Clown Hotel, like everything. There's a little girl here, but there's also like this demonic demon. I'm like, funny that.
Yeah. I no, I can't do. I can't remember the last scary movie I watched because we watched Lost Boys the other day.
What did you think?
I'd already seen it, but I thought it was great. It mostly holds up. Um,
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's very 80s.
it
The
is, but in a
music,
good way.
yeah, the music's great. Yeah, I mean it's fun. The ending, without spoilers, is vaguely gory, but then it's a vampire movie, right? But yeah, so like to me, that's not a scary movie
Hmm.
because I don't know. It's not scary in the same way like the Conjuring Houses or any of the other ones you've just named are.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to think of what like the last scary movie is that I watched or horror. I really hate horror movies.
So is it a gore thing doesn't bother you, but it's
Oh no,
it,
gore really bothers me.
okay.
I
So
mean,
yeah.
Lost Boys, it was kind of like 80s.
Oh,
This is
80s red syrup.
like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like I knew when to look away because
Hmm.
again, vague spoilers, but there's like some face melting and like the
Mm.
Indiana Jones kind of thing, and it's 80s effects, so it's not.
Yeah, it's more practical effects as well
Yeah, it
because
just
obviously
doesn't
CG wasn't
unsettle
there.
me in the same way. But I really hate unsettling stuff. That really gets to me.
Mm.
I remember again. Is it a horror movie? Maybe The Fog.
Yep.
Is it The Fog or The Mist? There's
There's
two.
two.
One is Mark Wahlberg.
One. Did one have a boat?
No, the one I watched did not have a boat. So it's The Mist.
Yeah. I'm literally. I've turned to look at my collection of. And I think I have the fog.
Well, whichever one is the Mark Wahlberg one, where the army open up a portal and like
Yes.
fuck with things, that really unsettled me
Hmm.
because again, without I guess you could kind of talk spoilers. It's been out years.
Oh
I mean,
god,
so
yeah.
is Lost Boys. I don't know why I was like, oh, spoiler alert for a movie
because
from the
because
80s.
people need to watch Lost Boys.
That's true. Well, so the ending of the Mist in the movie is different to the book anyway. But yeah, it there's something about humanity in it that I really don't like in how humans turn on each other and humanity. Not to like get like what do you call it, media degree on you, but like the
I have a
humans in
degree in film. You're fine.
it. Yeah, it's like humans becoming becoming the monsters
Yep.
and stuff like that really unsettles me because I can see it so easily happen.
Hmm.
And also like I like an ending and I like normally I like a happy ending. I'm no good. Like when I'm reading fan fiction, I want angst with a happy ending. Like you will not get me reading a sad ending. So yeah, anything that ends on like not and they all lived happily ever after, I find really hard to deal with. And The Mist has both of that. So excellent. And the book's more of a cliffhanger than like at least it is resolved in the movie. But I
Mm.
have no idea why I watched that movie. Why did teenage Lydia go, you know what? We're gonna
Oh,
watch a scary movie by ourselves.
oh, you wish it were yourself. Jeez.
Yeah, full of all the tropes that apparently you hate. So a lot of discovering that about yourself. I think maybe I thought it was a thriller, and then
Mm.
I just got so invested in it that I wanted to see the ending, so I knew that they got out of it. And yeah, spoiler alert. Well, I mean, yeah. Also, because like it's if you, I think it was on like film 4 or something. So I went into it being like, oh, this looks alright,
Mhm.
and it kind of opens. I don't know if you know The Mist for the people at home, but it's kind of like Mark Wahlberg, and he's like, I'm a dad, and I'm at the supermarket, and I have dinner with my wife, and I was like, oh, okay, I've never seen Mark Wahlberg in a horror movie. This will be fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was horrible. But that's the last. I've never seen any of the screams.
They are brutal though.
I've never seen any of the kind of Nightmare on Elm Street, any of like the
I
classic
love Nightmare.
slashers.
Freddie and Michael are my boys.
I've seen
Sorry,
bits
Jason.
of the one where is it Freddy Krueger? The one that when you're sleeping.
Yes, that's Kruger.
I've seen bits of that one.
Which one?
I know the one with Johnny Depp in.
The first one.
The first one. I've seen bits of the first one. And then oh wait, I also watched oh this was with my first boyfriend,
Oh,
and he made me watch the Amity House horror.
Amityville Horror.
The one with the house where like an American family
Yeah,
move into a house and like bad shit happens.
yeah. I've
Yeah, I've
never
seen
actually seen that one. I don't think.
I honestly could not tell you anything about it because I think my mind has just been like, it didn't happen. You don't remember this happening.
I went on a date with a guy once, and we watched The Descent in his house.
Ooh, that's the
The Gollum-esque.
not climbing.
Yeah. It's the climbing troupe that go into
Yeah,
caves
see,
and then
that's
go,
an
"Oh, we're not alone."
no, I couldn't watch that because again, it's too close to what could be real.
Yeah, I mean, I that was before I was into horror. Like, it was only when
Oh
I
wow.
was with Daniel. I was like, who's a horror nut. I was like, teach me
Mm,
to like horror.
yeah.
So we started off slow, and now I'm like, give me the spook. I'm trying to think what we watched. What was the last horror film we watched? Scream, I think.
Hmm. Is that the new one?
The new,
7?
yeah, we watched the both the latest two,
No.
and we've seen the new Michael Halloween. That was really good.
No.
Halloween Ends. I want to see the new Saw.
Oh no, I can't watch. I've never seen a single Saw.
Oh, I've got to the point I'm so unfazed by it. We'll watch it with dinner.
I can't. I can't imagine being. I'm gore really does set me off. And
I
those.
see Ghosts set me off.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm like the Paranormal Activity fucked me up.
Yeah. See, that really
Nothing
gets me as
happens.
well.
It's that suspense of it could be.
And I think that's better script
Mm.
writing and horror almost than like jump
Mm.
scares.
See, jump scares I can learn to expect, mainly because I can listen to the music and be like,
Yeah.
okay, it's ramping up into this, the beat's getting faster.
Oh my god, you'll laugh. But I used to be very into Supernatural because who wasn't?
I mean, yeah.
So, but there used to be certain Supernatural episodes I used to have to watch with subtitles and the sound off because they would scare me so much.
Oh, bless.
So, because music is a huge part of
Yes. Oh, God, yeah.
dread and like fear and stuff.
Mm.
So, if that's my top tip, if you don't like scary movies, mute it and put subtitles on because suddenly it ain't so scary when it doesn't have that. Yeah.
I swear we were watching a horror film once where the subtitle revealed who the killer was because they put the
Oh
name of the they
no.
put the name of the who was the killer.
Oh,
And you were
that's
like, the fuck?
funny.
I can't remember what it was now. But yeah,
Oh, that's silly.
we're like, oh. Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, we watched this horror film. I can't remember what it's called now. I don't remember it. It was like the World War One guys who were looking after a base. They end up taking over from another troop of this like manor house that was the outpost,
Mm.
and the other team are like, oh, thank fuck you're here. Like, we need to get out of here now. Your turn. Like, leave us alone. So of course the house is haunted, and it's like it's good haunt. It's all the tropes you want done really well. And then the end of the film takes such a left turn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, spoilers if you want to watch it. Can you remember what the film was called?
Hold on, wait. Spoilers. Skip to, I guess, like
Yeah,
50 minutes. 50
because
minutes in if you want to avoid the spoiler.
I need to find out what it's called, just so people can, if they want to watch it, they can.
While you're thinking of the name, can I say something terrible?
Mm.
In that you were describing this scene, and all I could think of was the scene in Bedknobs and Broomsticks when Anna Lansbury like gets all the undead soldiers to fight the Nazis.
Oh yeah. Okay. My sources have told me it's called Ghosts of War.
Ghosts of War.
Ghosts of War. So yeah, if you don't want to know the ending, stop listening now, and then we'll let you know when it's safe. Somehow, it's an audio. We have no visual cues. Just give it a minute.
Well,
So yeah,
we can add a thing that says rejoin in like a minute or something.
yeah. To avoid spoilers of Ghost of War, please skip ahead to 35 minutes 30. World War One, haunted manor. Everyone starts going a bit crazy.
Yeah.
It then takes a left turn to the modern day. Odds. And it's like, you've been in a simulation to deal with your Iraqi trauma. What? And it's like, this is what really happened, and it like plays like some weird like parallels between World War One. Like, this was so good, and then it was like, no, fuck you.
That's so weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to read the Wikipedia for that. That's one thing I do love to do. I love to read Wikipedia plots of horror movies.
It was so strange, and we were just like, oh, okay, sure, this is two films squished into one, which reminds me of there was a time. So I went to uni for film, and we ended up going to this film evening where this young aspiring director was showcasing his new film.
Oh no.
And it was awful. Like, parts of it were good, but we turned around and we were like, that was 3 films in one. It was a sci-fi horror political piece. And it's like, you could have this without the aliens.
Right.
Oh, it was called Bane. I've just been told it. How do you remember that? That was over a decade ago. Jesus Christ, sorry.
My least favorite movie of all time
Mhm.
is AI.
Right.
Also, for many reasons, but also, why did they add aliens at the last bit? They didn't need spoilers for AI. Also, actually, no, I'm going to spoil it because it's a terrible movie.
It's AI. Of course, it's sci-fi.
Yeah, but like you got robots and you got Minnie Driver not acting, and then the ending. And then suddenly these weird purple aliens turn up and they're like, hey, we can't bring your mum back forever, but we can bring her back for a day unless you wait. And then Haley Joel Osment is like, you know what? I'm a kid. I don't know better, even though I'm a robot, so I should know better. Bring her back now with this chunk of hair I cut from her when I was a baby.
Oh my god, somehow, yeah.
I hate AI. I hate it so. It's my least favorite movie of all time. But so it got to the end, and I was like, "Thank God that's ended. I can finally go home." And then the aliens turned up, and there was like another 20 minutes of movie.
Oh
I would
god.
never be mad about AI. Sorry, not a horror movie. It was my horror movie.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a film that won't end, and you're just like, please.
It truly is. Do you know the world's shortest horror story?
I know the world's like saddest.
No. Well, the world's shortest one is. It reminded me because it's vaguely sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 sentences. I can't remember how many words.
I love 2-sentence horror stories.
Well, it's kind. I think it's what kind of inspired them, but it's from 1948, which is when it was first published. I just googled it, and it's written by Frederick Brown, and it goes: "The last man on Earth sat alone in a room. There was a knock at the door." Which I think has been told many times.
I love that.
But yeah, it's called Knock. It got republished. It won a bunch of awards, which is wild when you think it's 2 sentences. But that is apparently the shortest horror story of all time.
I think the shortest, saddest story, like one-line story I know is baby shoes for sales unused.
Yeah, I've seen it. No way I'm
It's
laughing.
so sad, but it's just like, oh.
The reason I find it funny is because I've seen it as a meme where people are like, Hulk hands, never horns.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to laugh at somebody's
No,
pain,
I know what you mean.
but that's what I thought of.
I love it. My favourite one is like when you hear your mum call from downstairs and then she drags you into a cupboard and says, I heard it too.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that.
Another one is, I kept hearing a knock at the window. At least I thought it was the window, but it was actually coming from the mirror.
I hate that too. There's one about the 2 guys in space, right? Where one goes out to do a spacewalk. Oh, no, it's not space. It's an Arctic base.
Oh.
They're in an Arctic base and your colleague goes out to do a routine check and then he's banging on the door to be let in because somebody's trying to get him, and then you turn around and he's also in the room with you.
Oh, that's very like The Thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one is I grew up with cats and dogs. I'm used to scratching on my door. It's very unsettling when you live alone.
Oh, I don't like that. There's wowzers in the distance.
Jensen.
So this one is one of the British ones I found. It's about what are they called? A chest. A large chest that you find in manor houses. And I'm so glad that I found this after Nat and Jack's wedding because it would have freaked me out. So
Oh.
during hide and seek, during a game of hide and seek, a new bride hides in a chest in an attic and is unable to escape. She's never found and she dies. And then years later, her husband, who's now old, unlocks the chest to find her body still in the wedding dress.
Oh god.
So it's an old Italian ghost story, but it's then become into like a legend of like these chests that entice young brides to hide. And I'm like, I'm so glad that I did not know.
Imagine if we were at Nat Jung's wedding and they're like, we should play hide and seek, and you're like, no!
Yeah, yeah. Now we are never playing hide and seek at a wedding. Just
I
that's
know.
a new thing that we are learning. As far as never playing hide and seek again.
Oh, that reminds me of like the 2-sentence horror story. That is, I can't sleep, she said as she climbed into bed. I woke up the next morning holding the dress she was buried in.
Wait, what?
I can't sleep, she said as she crawled into bed. I woke the next morning holding the dress she was buried in.
Oh, I don't like that.
It's
No.
just so disturbing.
Yeah. No, thank you. And there's also, sorry, a lot of the British ghost stories. So I actually found a cool website that we could play with later.
Ooh.
But a lot of British ghost stories I find aren't that scary because for me they're just like,
No, we just have serial killers.
yeah, or it's like some lady that, I don't know, died or whatever. But there is one I do like who's from Yorkshire, I think.
Yorkshire. I'm sorry, I apologise to every Yorkshire person listening.
It's meant to be one of the most haunted places. Oh, it's Dartmoor. Is that in Yorkshire? Maybe?
No.
Well, okay, Dartmoor's
Dartmoor's
Wales.
Devon.
Yeah. Oops.
Same thing. They got an accent.
Lady Mary Howard, basically, she's seen leaving the ruins of her castle. So she goes from her house, Fitsford House, and then she travels to Oakhampton Castle in a carriage. But the reason I like her is because her carriage is made from the bones of her demised husbands.
Oh my god, what a queen.
And then she has a black hound who leads the carriage with red eyes, and then black horses that pull the carriage.
She's like the Headless Horseman, but in style.
Yeah, she's great. So yeah, apparently you can see her, and apparently it's punishment for murdering all her husbands. So that's why she has to make the travel every day. But she did exist, and she did have 4 husbands, but apparently it was her dad, and like, as always with these, like, if you spend 5 minutes looking into it, it's like, okay, she was just a woman in, like, a terrible time. But I just think it's great. Her and, the kimono lady with the skeletons. Two great people.
I try and think of, like, other ghostly moments that have happened. But
Yeah. So while you're thinking, I've gone on the Haunted Britain site.
Haunted Britain.
And basically, you can sort by part of the England that you want to look at. So give me a part. So southwest, southeast, Midlands.
Oh, well, I know there's the Hellfire Caves near me. Not to pinpoint my location. I am southeast.
Southeast? Okay. So Buckinghamshire, Oxfordshire, Berkshire, Hampshire, Surrey, West Sussex, East Sussex, Kent. So let's go Surrey.
I was going to say Kent, I think, has a fair few.
Okay, we'll go Kent. Visit Haunted Kent.
Watch me be completely wrong.
A selection of ghost stories. Goodwin Sands. Apparently the shifting sands seek to swallow ship. Oh my god, that's so hard to say. And I have a list.
The shifting sands.
The shifting sands are seeking to swallow ships and their crews.
Oh,
say that 3 times.
No, I can't even. The shifting sands seek to swallow ships of what? I didn't get the last bit.
Apparently, it's due to 1703 when 13 ships and 1,900 men and officers were lost at night.
13 ships?
13 ships.
Oh, I can't remember where it was. We were out with the gang and we were all at dinner and I went, how many of us are there?
No!
Because I was really worried who was going to stand up first because I thought there was 13 of us, but thankfully there was 11.
No.
I was like, oh!
One of the cheapest times to fly is Friday the 13th.
Yeah. My Friday the 13th just gone was an absolute shit show.
So many people I know had horrible Friday the 13th.
It was something like I got up early, was editing, and then we had to go to London. And then we got to the train station. Oh, there was like traffic lights on the way that were awful. In a place there's never been roadworks ever before. so it was
Mm.
running like it's late. And then we got to the train station, and he was like, "Yeah, no, you can't get anywhere. The Metropolitan line's basically going 3 stops in the wrong direction." So we then had to drive to another station
Oh my god.
that had no signs for parking, and we had a one-way system. So I had to do the loop like twice, trying to find where
That
this parking
sucks.
is. And it was just a pain in the ass. And it was just like, if one more thing happens.
I'm
And
going
then we
home.
saw and then we saw a rainbow, so balances up. But it was just, please, the world is against us. Oh, and then we went to a members' evening at the Natural History.
Mm. Oh
And
yeah.
we were like one of the youngest people there, as you can imagine, apart from like whoever brought their kid. And the amount of old people that were like, old people audacity of like, I'm a member, I'm going in first. I'm like, I pay the same membership as you, like, and
Yeah.
also my legs work.
Yeah.
So we just zoomed past them.
It's like, yeah, I also pay. Like,
Yeah.
you're not special. I don't know how you've gone this far in your life thinking you are.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, so that was my Friday the 13th. Oh, and then I came home and stayed up all night editing, and that was my 28-hour a week.
That was not smart.
That's fine, I got it done.
Terrible.
Worth it. I haven't done an all-nighter in like a decade. It was a choice.
When I had to do it for Birmingham, MCM Birmingham, that was a huge mistake. So I feel you.
What did you do?
So Thursday, was it? No, Wednesday. I got up, went to work, and then that night I needed to stay up until 4 a.m. to buy Ghibli Museum tickets in Japan.
Ah,
So it
right,
got to
yeah.
midnight, and I was like, do I just stay up playing Genshin till 4 a.m. or do I go to bed and wake up for 2 hours? And everyone was like, just stay up. So I stayed, because by this point it was like 2 a.m. So I was like, I'll just stay up. So I stayed up till 4 a.m. It then took me 2 hours to get through the tickets to try and buy the Ghibli ticket. Yeah, it
Jesus.
was hell. Managed to get the tickets. Then I had to drive to Birmingham for MCM. And I was like, I can't sleep. I'm too like wired and awake now.
Mm.
So I had some food, and then I had to leave at like 4 o'clock, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I had some food, I packed, and then I drove to Birmingham. And then I think I went to bed midnight
Oh
Thursday.
my god.
Because by the time everyone had turned up and checked to our hotels and we were chatting, and I remember forgetting the word for letterbox, and I was just sat in the bed being like, I put stuff in the door hole, the hole in the door, and everyone was like, a letterbox. I was like, yes. And then they were like, Lydia, you need to go to sleep, and I was like, I really do. I've been up
Yeah,
so long.
that was me. Like 10 a.m. after I finished like this wedding thing after being awake and having gone to London and come back and
Yeah,
all that. And Daniel was talking to me, and I was just like, it's gibberish.
yeah,
Like I don't know what I couldn't tell you what we were talking about. I just remember having breakfast and then just passing out cold.
yeah.
I was like, well,
The only other time I've stayed up that long is when you're flying long haul. But then when you're flying long haul, it's like,
that's not real time.
yeah, you're doing stuff, and it's not real time. I don't know what's
Mm.
happening. I may have been up 32 hours, but it doesn't feel like 32 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah,
But anyway,
mad. So,
spooky.
any all nighters for the lead up to Brum or MCM? Are you doing
No.
MCM? No.
No, I'm not doing MCM, but I am doing Birmingham, and I'm excited, even though I have absolutely zero cosplays ready. I've never been this unprepared for a con,
Mm.
but I ordered some stuff today
Hey.
to try and get here. So, but anyway, we're not talking about spooky con crunch. Although we can talk about spooky con things, and we can talk about, maybe not me because I'm a coward, but like what would be kind of like, what spooky horror-y type photo shoots would you like to do? Because I know
Oh, right.
Kept Photo,
Mm-hmm.
Cat of Kept Photo, they last year, I think they've done it this year as well, but they did a horror themed setup, and
Nice.
some of the photos they got were so great. There's one of Lacey, and she's in a veil, and it's like all black and white and spooky and smoky, and it reminds me so much of Giselle that I was like, oh, love this. And I thought it was great. So I was like, what would you want to, like, if you could do a spooky shoot? Because I know you did Scream with Agent Colbert.
Yes, I wish we'd done more. So busy.
Yeah, and then you've done,
I've done Crimson Peak.
yeah, Crimson Peak.
I've done. I've
Because
done.
you're such a horror person.
Yeah, I
You
just was
haven't
surprisingly
done.
not shot a lot of horror. I've done like Sabrina's and
Yeah, and Hex
Halloweeny, Hex
Girls
Girls and Elvira, and I'm now scrolling through my feed.
and.
Yeah, I've done a fair few vampires now. So I did my vampire stuff. But I can't remember who it is I follow on Instagram. And every year they do like a bloodbath, and it's like a pool, and there's like chains hanging from the ceiling and fabric, and it's all gory and
Oh,
horrible, and like that looks cool.
I really want to do a chains shoot.
Yes.
And Nat and I have looked into doing some workshops with chains because
Hmm.
they're very different to
I can imagine.
other aerial equipment and it's very easy to hurt yourself. And also just making sure that you've got the correct kit. You can't like
Mm.
just buy some I don't know some bike chains off of Amazon and hope it supports your weight. But that's something I really want to
So
learn. I mean, maybe you can.
yeah,
Um,
no.
but yeah, it's something that it's a skill I really want to learn because I think it'd be really cool. It'd be a really cool thing to do shoots with because it is so unique. Like, there's
Mm.
not. I don't feel like there's as much maneuverability and moves that you can do with them, but they just look so cool. Every time I see people use Janes, I'm like, this is great.
I would love to do like the ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like her crawling out of the TV,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
like Poltergeist and that kind of eerie spookiness. Honestly, even like Michael Myers just looming somewhere
Hmm.
menacingly would still be a lot of fun, I think.
Did you see the Michael Myers? I think it was at Katsu, where he had the hedge. So it was a cosplayer,
Mm.
and Michael Myers is the one with the Michael Myers mask, right?
Yeah, he's the oh god, I forgot his name. The Captain Kirk head.
Yeah, it's oh my god, William Shatner.
Thank you. I was like, I can hear him in my head and I can see his face.
I
Yes,
was like
there's
Kirk, and I'm like, no, it's not Kirk.
yeah, it's Kirk.
No, but yeah,
Uh,
but if his name isn't Kirk.
the fact
Um,
that they couldn't find a mask and then they found this horrifying mask and just painted it slightly different color and then we're like, yep, that's the one.
I found it. So it was Baltimore Comic Con, and basically the cosplayer brought his own hedge on wheels,
Oh my god,
and
please show me this.
it's the funniest thing I've ever seen because he got it down to like having the little can, like there's an empty can in the hedge.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like an empty can in the hedge. Oh my god, it doesn't exist on Twitter, God's sake. But yeah, it's the funniest thing because it's like it's a little white hedge on wheels. It's so great. All right. Oh no, apparently it was Dragon Con.
Oh.
Either way, it was in Atlanta. Okay, well, whatever.
Do you have a link so I can see it?
I am sending it to you now.
I wish to perceive. I love
But I
that.
remember
I typed in
seeing it.
Halloween cosplay on Instagram and that was a
Oh
choice.
no.
Oh my god, semi-naked women, the most terrifying thing of all.
But yeah, I just thought it's such a fun way to like elevate your cosplay. There's so
Oh
many
my
people.
god.
There's one here where he's just on the kitchen
Perfect.
floor.
I love that. This is a reference to the latest film, I believe, where I've forgotten her name. Who's the woman that he's got a vendetta against in
I don't
Halloween?
know.
No,
Why
I'm
would
asking Daniel.
I know?
Sorry, Laurie. Yeah, Laurie Strode. So Laurie literally like comes out the front of the house and looks left, looks right, looks left again, and he's just like peeping.
Yeah.
It is exactly that moment.
Yeah, so the second link I've sent you is just him on a con floor with it.
Yeah, it's just on a comfort. That's incredible. The can is everything.
Yeah, yeah, with the can as well. Yeah, I saw
Ah,
it. I can't remember where I saw it. I was like, that's just next level. I don't know anything about that one other than it's he's called Michael Myers and um,
so Michael Myers is a basically very neglected child
right.
who ends up killing his family and going into a psychiatric unit where he is tortured and abused and all that good stuff.
Mm.
And yeah, he ends up basically just going on a rampage on Halloween because he
Oh,
uses a mask to hide himself. Yeah, there's so much lore in it that I could be here forever. Like
because I know
with the psychiatrist and with Laurie and like all her family and all the blah. It's a whole thing.
Nightmare on Elm Street is Freddy Krueger
It is,
who
yes.
kills people in their sleep because they're promiscuous.
So Kruger was worked in a school and was
Right,
found out to be a paedophile and burnt, which is
right,
why he looks like the way he does.
right.
He exacts revenge on the children that lied in their sleep. I believe that's correct.
Ah, okay.
No, I've got it wrong. I'm being looked at. Is that right?
In the original,
A special guest. I'm going to lean in so Daniel can say it.
Okay, so Freddy Krueger was a child murderer, not paedophile.
Oh, whoops.
He was arrested, but got off on a technicality because someone forgot to sign the arrest warrant. However, the parents took it into their own hands to torch him in the old steamworks or ironworks, burning him alive. He then swore revenge on the children of the parents who'd burned him.
I
by
was
haunting their dreams.
I was close.
So
Where did I get the paedophile thing from?
That was the latest one.
That was the latest one. Oh, that was the remake. Okay. I was like, there was definitely photos in a wall at some point.
where did the promiscuous bit come from? Is that just because it was the 80s?
It's the 80s. It's the old horror rule. If you have sex or you get naked, you die.
Right.
So Cabin in the Woods is very good for this, where they have all those tropes and stuff. And, you know, there's always like the cheerleader girl who ends up taking her top off and she's normally the one to die.
Yeah.
Because it's just, punishing people for having fun.
Yeah. And then Jason Voorhees is Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And he's the hockey mask man.
He is, yes.
And that one's at a holiday camp?
It is, yeah. So Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah. It's wild how much I've absorbed having ever watched it.
Yeah.
It's just such a part of popular culture, I guess.
Plot twist and spoilers if you haven't seen it and you haven't seen the first one. So I'm going to get this wrong now. Danny's going to get mad about it. I can feel it. But basically, Jason was at the camp and was neglected to be saved by the camp counselors and drowns in the river.
Right.
And the first one's actually his mother.
I was going to say, doesn't he have a relationship with his mum?
Oh, the mother relationship is tormented. And then if you get into like the lore with like Freddy versus Jason and all that, and they summon Freddy tries to summon Jason with the Necronomicon and all this kind of bullshit, and it's like, oh my god. And then you have Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and Ash is, I can't remember. He's a hero. He's an 80s comic book hero, I think. No, I'm being fuck.
Well, he has an axe in the picture I've just googled. He's Evil Dead.
Sorry?
He's the lead in the Evil Dead series.
Oh, he's the lead in the Evil Dead series. There you go.
Yeah.
He's a hero. He's fine.
Who's the man with the chainsaw arm?
The chainsaw arm?
He has a hand and his arm is a chainsaw.
What? There's Leatherface who has a chainsaw.
No, I'm sure that's the Ash. He's in like a denim shirt and he has no hand, and where his hand is,
Does he have a chainsaw for a hand?
I've seen someone cosplay this.
His own hand replaced.
Oh, he does. Yeah, okay, no, that is Ash.
His hand becomes a chainsaw.
It's been a while. I haven't seen that. Yeah. He basically cuts off his own arm and replaces it with a chainsaw.
Of course he does.
Because that's badass. He's the hero.
So I don't know much about Cabin in the Woods, but I know
Cabin in the Woods is great.
Jack has tried to make me watch it by saying it's a real horror movie.
There's elements that I think would freak you out.
Okay, see, that's what I'm like. I don't care if it's not a real horror movie; it's still a horror movie.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to the top 40 horror movies, and I'm gonna see
how many I've seen. Oh no!
Of all time, we can have special guest Daniel as well. 200, that's too many. Right, Empire, here we go. I trust Empire. The 50 best horror movies.
I think you'd like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, because that's a parody on horror films, and it's basically two guys chilling in the woods that everything keeps going wrong, and it basically they're making a horror film happen to like other people around them.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
That one is good. Is gory. I will give you that.
No, I'm like the amount of blood is on the screen.
It's There's a wood chipper and
that's Alan Tudyk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love Alan Tudyk. Maybe that's enough to make me to watch it.
Yeah, it is good.
Oh, there was a man going into a wood chipper.
Yeah.
There's so many blurred safe search images.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Oh my god, safe search? Jesus.
Chapter 1 and 2.
Yes.
No.
And the original.
This is Empire's top 50, starting at 50.
Okay.
Saw?
Yes.
Nope.
Except for the new one that's come out like the last week. Hellraiser? Yes. The first one.
I have a fun fact about Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching... What was I watching? I think I was watching... It was some kind... It might have been Friends. It was something I was watching on VHS.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the trailer beforehand. And there was
Friends?
No. There was it was like a direct home, whatever, like It was like a HBO, get all your favorites advert.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was a split-second shot of Hellraiser, and my mum saw it and was like, "You can't watch this." And me watching the VHS, it might have been like Seinfeld. It was something that was like relatively harmless, like maybe a 15 or like, well, I guess 12A wasn't a thing then, but like it was not enough. But she saw like this like 10-second bit of Hellraiser and was like, "No," and like injected the VHS. Anyway, so I've never seen it. That's what I've seen.
Right.
Audition.
No.
Takashi Miike. Jaw-droppingly unexpected shocker of the year will leave you cowering in the aisles.
Sounds good.
I think there's one to put on your list. 1999. Follows a widower's attempts to get back in the dating game with a younger squeeze. Oh, with a dodgy and disingenuous audition process.
Oh, the film came out in 1999. Sorry, I thought the film was called 1999. What was it called? The Audition?
The Audition. Oh, it sounds very good.
Oh, no, not seen that.
Oh, no. Okay, well, there's the spoiler for the ending. Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good.
Oh, okay. I've seen these stills before.
The Devil Rides Out.
No.
Christopher Lee, 1968.
Oh, love Christopher Lee.
There you go, there's another one on the list. Kill List. Cat People.
Yep.
Day of the Dead.
Yep.
Drag Me to Hell. Is that good? That's
Yeah.
Sam Raimi, isn't it?
I don't know, every time I hear Drag Me to Hell, I always sing it in my head as Take Me to Church.
The
Yeah,
sequel.
it's basically she gets cursed by a witch. That's
Cool. Raw Dracula, the original. I've seen the original Dracula.
I've not seen the original Dracula, but I have seen Nosferatu, which predates it.
The original Dracula does have Christopher Lee in it.
It does, yes. It's one of those things I need to, but why watch that when you can watch Van Helsing?
True. Blair Witch.
Yep.
Nope. So I've seen one so far. Hereditary.
No, it's on my list. I need to see it.
Babadook.
Yes, I love Babadook. Babadook is great.
Bride of Frankenstein.
I've not seen Bride. Don't tell Maddie.
Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
Yes, that I have seen.
Poltergeist.
Both the original and the remake.
I remember as a kid reading the synopsis for Poltergeist, and it freaked me out so much I couldn't be in a room with TVs.
Yeah, something about static TVs. You're like,
Yeah. Midsummer.
no, I need to.
Have you not seen Midsummer?
Everyone hyped about it, and when people hype about it on the internet, I'm like, I don't want to watch it.
That's fair.
I'm like, no, leave me to discover it on my own.
Don't Look Now.
Don't Look Now.
There's a bunch of like, oh, Shaun of the Dead. I have seen that
Oh,
one.
Shaun of the Dead is great. That's not
Hated
horrible.
it.
No, I've not seen Don't Look Now.
Okay, I'm going to skip past a bunch of these. Night of the Living Dead. Oh, The Descent. Descent is 25th on the list.
Hey, yep, seen that
The
one.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yep.
Maybe that's the one I saw.
That's Leatherface. That's the one that Sumo Digital did the game of.
Maybe it was that one. 28 Days Later.
I love 28 Days. If you like
Nope.
zombies.
Nope, I hate them. Which is why I also hate Shaun of the Dead.
My mother-in-law is terrified of zombies.
Me too.
And I'm like, but the film is great.
A Quiet Place.
Yes.
The Omen.
Yes.
Oh, The Fog. That's not The Mist. But yes, The Fog. Get Out.
No, on the list.
I really like Jordan Peele, but I can't. It's too scary. It's too scary for me. Psycho, 17.
Yeah.
American Werewolf in
A
London.
classic.
Oh, the original Japanese Ring.
Yes.
Oh, I don't even want to look at that.
The
that
original Japanese is far scarier because it's not tailored for Americans.
Isn't it Wreck? The
Yeah,
Spanish
I love Rex so much. 1 and 2.
scarier.
It's so good. It's set in one apartment building and it's so good.
Nope. Dawn of the Dead. Carrie.
Yeah.
Rosemary's Baby.
Ugh, don't watch that. It's boring.
Oh, okay.
You'd probably be fine with it then.
Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Well, they've put it as They put Rosemary's Baby as 12th on the list.
It's a classic.
I love how this podcast is now just me reading out movies.
Yeah, Rosemary's Baby is an absolute cinema classic. It was a lot for its time. Yeah, it's the classic pushed her down the stairs.
Oh, okay. Nightmare on Elm Street, we've spoken about.
The third one's great. I don't care what Daniel says, the third one is the best one on Nightmare. Because you found your dream powers, man. It's basically you might enjoy the third one. It's D&D based.
Oh, okay.
So they realize that they like, if we can make believe D&D in real life, why can't we do it in our dreams so we can have magic? It's really
That's great.
stupid. Sorry, what was the other film said?
No, I was gonna say that's great that they're like, you know what? It's called
Yeah.
Dream Warriors.
Yeah, it's so good.
Why does he look so goofy? He's doing like a little shh.
Yep, it's Kruger.
Oh no, I've just seen a man's wrist be exploded. Absolutely not. That's not
Yeah,
familiar.
no.
The Exorcist.
Yes.
Jaws. I've seen Jaws. There we go.
I don't think of that as a horror film, but sure.
Nosferatu.
Yep.
Evil Dead. Why does that man have so many teeth?
I'm surprised you haven't said like Annabelle or
Halloween.
yeah,
The Thing.
yeah,
Scream.
yeah,
Alien.
yeah.
And then number one on the list is The Shining.
Weirdly, I have not seen that.
So I've seen.
I know enough of the cultural references to get by.
I've seen Alien. I've seen 3 on the 50 best horror movie lists. And I've seen The Simpsons take of The Shining.
Yeah, I've seen that.
When was this published, this list? 2021. So
Oh,
yeah, there's
okay.
enough time that they've got. Oh, I'm still thinking about that horrible image I just saw of Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'm a coward. It's fine. Just stuff gets to me.
It's like Nat and Jack were like, we're gonna go through the Saw films, and she's like, not the needle pit. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way.
Oh, don't like that.
Yeah. It turns out the floor is false, and she just falls into a pit of needles.
I know that there's so many people that cosplay from the Saw movies, and I find that so bizarre. But
Okay, pet peeve, cosplayers.
Mm.
The doll is not called Jigsaw. Stop it. It winds me up. Someone's recently done it as for like a cosplay, and all their videos are titled like incorrectly. I'm like, the puppet's called Billy. Jigsaw is John Kramer, who is the man behind it all. Please get your lore correct. There's not been like 11 films for you not to know this.
There are 11?
Pretty much, yeah, if you count Spiral.
Wild.
Because they ended up with Saw X, and they're like the Saw Final, and then it's like the Spiral, and now it's still going. It's like, but you've done the final. Wait, what? It's very confusing. There's so much lore in it as well.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of lore. I think that's true of most horror movies, though. There's like a weird, surprising amount of lore.
Until you get to like Jason X, and they're like, "Fuck it, space."
Wait, what?
Yeah, the 10th one, Jason X, is in space. It's great.
Do they ever explain how he got to space?
I think he just clings onto the side of the rocket, but there is a part where he's banging on the window from the outside. While they're in space. They're on like the ISS or something. I don't know. Fuck it. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it was really good.
No, that makes no sense.
No, of course it doesn't. It's horror.
No. Horror should make some sense.
They just kind of went, meh.
Because what leads up to that? What's the last bit? It's like Fast and the Furious. Like, how is he still in space? Have Fast and Furious gone to space yet? That's my next question.
I can't wait. They should have a race on the moon.
Oh my god. F9, the Fast Saga going to space scene. That can't be real. Which Fast and Furious did they go to space? Apparently they do go to space.
Oh, shit.
Fine.
Oh my god. You know what? A franchise is dead when you go to space.
Apparently the director extensively consulted with NASA.
Oh, good for them.
Why are they in space? What happened that Ludacris needed to go to space? Fast and Furious goes into space, and yes, it sort of makes sense. No, it doesn't, Radio Times. No, it doesn't. Why is Ludacris in space? And Tyrone? What? How did these two characters even meet? Tasked with disrupting a signal that reset all digital devices on Earth and caused global mayhem, Tej and Rahman, which are Ludacris and Tyrese Gibson, learn that the satellite at the heart of Project Ares cannot be disabled remotely. They must travel into outer space in order to shut it down manually. Spoilers alert, I guess, for Fast 9. The terrified twosome use a rocket car provided by Sean Boswell and Twinkie and Earl Hugh to enter orbit. Wait. Now, my Fast and Furious lore might be a little sketchy here because I've only seen the first 3 movies, but I'm pretty sure Earl Hugh dies in the 3rd movie.
I was gonna say, doesn't someone make a comeback? And it's like plot
I mean,
twist.
Michelle Rodriguez has come back like 8 times.
It's the thing is, there's something. This is
Oh no,
this.
Elle
This
Hu doesn't die in the 3rd movie. Okay.
Dan and I picked up in movies is the Star Wars law, the Star Wars logic. If you don't see a body, they're not dead.
Yeah.
Because they do that in one of the Halloween films as well. They're like, "We defeated him. He's dead. We pushed him out a window," and then the camera cuts away, and I'm like, "We've not seen the body." And then of course, he's disappeared. Spoiler. But there is a film
Yeah.
after that, so they're it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer if you don't see the body,
Yeah.
then
They're not dead.
well, I've learned many things this podcast.
What have you
I've
learned?
learned that I will not watch horror movies, and I've learned that Fast and Furious go to space in the 9th movie. What more? What more do you need to know for a spooky podcast?
Yeah. That and Con is next week.
We never got round to you saying what spooky shoots you'd like to do.
Oh, I said like the ring and stuff.
Yes, that could be. Would that be one that you'd want to shoot underwater or on the rainfall?
That would be cool.
If you had the TV as well on the rain floor.
TV on the rain floor would be sick. And then edit the static in behind.
Yeah. Or if you did, like, dragged an old school TV out to the woods. Did it there, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I would do that. I'd love to do like a possession kind of thing, like floating off the bed.
Ooh, that'd be really fun.
I say that as I've just seen Eddie at the XL like on one of those fake stages, so it looks like he's levitating.
Yeah. Where like, the set is...
on the wall.
Inside, yeah.
Oh, that would be a way of doing it. But then, meh.
Just get really good at trampoline.
I've also always wanted to do like those like aesthetic Pinterest witch shoots where everyone wears black and has candles, and it looks
Ooh.
really like not like scary but kind of Halloweeny spooky.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Have you seen? I've forgotten the handle. T.S. Williams' photo. The lake photos that she did recently.
Stunning.
Similar kind of vibe where it's like a bunch of like people in like long dresses and veils, and
Yes.
just like, stood in water.
Yeah.
That very like spooky, ethereal
I love
vibe.
that.
It's very cool.
I saw another one that was similar, and it was a lot of women in white. And it was they were kind of dancing around, very kind of midsummery.
I think it's very cool to see people kind of go away from cosplay and shoot kind of like people shoot their passion projects, like you did your vampire because you shot with a few people and did like lots of blood stuff and
more blood.
Yeah, I think seeing some culty stuff would be very cool. I think you'd be really good at it.
I love it. I find it fascinating as well. Like I'm all in my spooky witchcraft stuff.
There's a very cool location. I'm gonna have to dig out where it is because I can't remember. I've shot there before, and it's old ruins. But in one part of it, they've got an old circle. Obviously, it used to be like a fire or a hearth or something. But it's such a cool location to do something like that because there's like a circle in the middle, and then it's a circle around it, so it would be perfect.
Oh, that would be so good. Let's do that.
I will dig it out of my memories.
Let's go.
I will dig out where it is because I think it'd be a really cool place to shoot, actually.
Do you know what's so funny? As much as I love horror films and everything like that, I still would never go to those live actor maze things. I hate those.
Oh,
with
absolutely not. I hate them.
God, we were walking in, I think it was Blackpool. I was with my dad and a friend, like years ago. I'm going 8 years. And we ended up walking not even that close to the haunted house. And of course, they had scare actors outside advertising. And the guy came up over my shoulder and said something suddenly in my ear. And I screamed and instantly burst into tears.
Yeah.
And he was like, I am so sorry. And I'm like, obviously instantly broke character and stuff. My dad thought it was the funniest thing he's ever seen in his life. Yeah, real life horror like that, like I can't. Scare actors, like my hat's off to you. I can't. You terrify me. Because I can't predict you. Horror films I can predict.
The zombie ones that used to come to con, I used to really hate them because I used to be really scared because I'm genuinely really afraid of zombies. And they used to then react to that, and instead of being like, oh, she's scared, I'll like move away, they would then like push harder, and I'd be like, this is not fun for me. Please leave me alone. And I know some people are like, oh, scary, run away kind of thing. So I guess that's what they used to, but it was just horrible.
There was a Michael Myers last MCM. He was so on point. So, you know the big shutter doors and there's like a pillar in the middle?
Yes.
So he was doing the hedge thing where he was half peering.
Oh my god.
But he wasn't leaning, he was just stood. Absolutely stock still. And Fletcher Kingswood Cosplay, and they noticed him and they went, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "Nice." And then we carried on walking, and he didn't follow. He just turned slowly to watch us.
Oh, I don't like that.
And they were like, "Yeah," and it was like, "That is so in character." I absolutely respect it. Like, I was like, I hate it, but it's really good. But the fact he didn't follow us made it worse.
Yeah, just watched you walk
Just
away.
what it was, just the slow turn, and obviously the dead eyes and the mask. Like, you can't see his face.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know who that was, but top tier. That's one thing I love about like Comic-Con is like there are some people who get it right, and then there are other people who just use it as an excuse to bully people.
Yeah, it's very hard as like a horror cosplayer
Mm,
to find that fine line between having fun interaction where people are scared but having a good time and like genuinely
yeah.
causing upset.
It's like anyone who cosplays like Pennywise must get it. People hate clowns. Not everyone.
Yeah,
But that is
well,
like people go,
it's
oh,
quite like a well-known fear, though,
yeah.
right?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, it is stranger when you see horror cosplay at a con because to me, like, cons are family friendly, right?
Mm,
So, but then you see worse things like the really well, not worse things, but the really good Shinigami, like that's terrifying. So, like, when do you start saying, oh, you know, you can't have this thing, but you can have that thing, and then yeah, I don't think that's fair, but it is funny when you think, you know, like, I don't know, they're taking their kids, like, Timmy's going to con and he's like 7 and then he's just going to see this massive, like, Pennywise clown. I guess kids don't know what it is, though, right?
yeah. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, it depends what they do. Like some like even like people like Silent Hill nurses and Pyramid Heads, they do the walk and the
Yeah,
dragging and like they've kind of got that cryptid walk and everything like that, and you're like, oh damn. But then you also see them break character and stuff, and it's the people who don't know when to stop is the problem, I find.
yeah. Yeah, because that's the thing, like, Silent Hill nurses,
Mm.
when they're out of character,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they're fine. And probably the same with a lot of things, like when that person's not doing the creepy thing.
Do you know the funny thing that we said? I think we've said this previously. You know the Deadpool people. There are
Mm,
some men, and I will say some men, that use it as an excuse to be an asshole. They
yes.
go too far. Ghostface is the Deadpool of Halloween.
Oh, really?
I feel so. Yeah, I feel like because you just wear a black robe and put a mask on
Yeah.
and have a knife, and and I feel like there is like something in there's something about it. People just kind of because people who do like unless they're doing like there's some TikTokers I followed like they have Michael in like stilettos and he's doing a dance. That's
Yeah.
hilarious because he'd never do this.
Yeah.
But the ghost face people don't do that kind of like some girls do like sexy ghost face. We have the leg like
Mm. Stick the leggy out.
but yeah, you get some that just start being dickish and you're like, ugh.
You obviously get that like in just in every subculture.
I
Like in
think so,
cosplay,
yeah.
you get the one or two characters that are kind of like that's a red flag, and
Yeah.
then I guess in like horror, you get okay, and Halloween and stuff. Yeah,
Mm.
it's quite interesting. I wonder like what about those characters make them.
I think we used to get it with Slender Man a lot as well when that was a big thing.
Oh, I remember lots of Slenderman cosplayers.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them get in trouble.
The wonderful world of Halloween cosplays. I don't think I've ever done a Halloween
I was
cosplay.
about to ask if you've ever done one. Spooky. You've done Werewolf Bakugo. Does that
Yeah,
count?
but I wouldn't count that as spooky in the same way that I've done like Witch Tink.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm trying to think, what have I done that could be Yeah, no, that's probably the closest would either be the Pumpkinhead Girl,
Oh, she was
Witch
cute though.
Tinkerbell. Yeah, Werewolf Bakugo. I guess, from Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah, I suppose. It's it's funny. Bring it back to the story of the woman. Like you said, there was a creature with a kettle on their head.
Yes.
Reminded me of the brother.
Oh
Who has a
yeah.
kettle on his head. And I was like,
So,
I wonder.
as you know,
Hmm.
I'm entering my cursed era.
Love a cursed era.
So, one of my builds I want to do after I've done Kirby, obviously, I really want to do Enoch from Over the Garden Wall, which
Mm,
is the big pumpkin in the is it the
incredible.
second episode? He's like a big pumpkin that's made of
He looks
reeds.
like a maypole.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he's basically a maypole with a giant pumpkin head and a really deep kind of Elvis sounding voice.
Incredible.
Also, if you've not seen Over the Garden Wall,
You need to watch
go
it.
and watch it right now. Turn
Is
off the podcast and
yeah,
go and watch Over the Garden Wall
yeah.
because it is my favorite thing to do in autumn. As soon as August hits, I'm like, time to watch Over the Garden Wall.
Mm, it's the most autumnal spooky season film.
Yes,
Film
it
series.
is 14 episodes. I want to say of no, they're about 15 minutes long. I think there's 10 of them, so they're
Yeah,
very
not
short. You
long.
can watch it in just over an hour. Right. The thing is, I always shout on about how much I love Over the Garden Wall, and I feel like everyone has watched it, and yet I still meet people who's like it's never been on their radar. So I'm like, more people need to know.
You should
Um,
bring work back for Brum.
I mean, if I don't finish the 3 cosplays I need to finish, we're going to be having some. Yeah, I'm going to be rewearing stuff.
Oh, another horror thing I've shot is Lady James Rescue.
Oh yeah,
I've shot them
yeah.
and
Oh
the
my god,
girls.
did we tell you when we were in Japan there was the grabby machines, the claw grabbers?
Yes.
There was a claw grabber machine, and it literally had tiny like chibi plushies of her.
The
Who's the fish man?
fish man
Not the fish man. The grubby old guy with the hammer
from the same
from the same
series.
game. I know Anders cosplays him.
Heisenberg.
Yes, yes. They had little like chibi plush teddy bears of Heisenberg, Lady D, and yeah, some blobby fish man thing. And we were like, who's trying to win this weird little plushie of her? But
Me.
yeah, we
Actually,
did,
I want Heisenberg.
but yeah, it was very funny just to be like all these cute Sanrio characters and all these anime figures, and then just
The way Heisenberg is the same voice actor as Astarion for Baldur's Gate will forever blow my mind.
I have not played either game, so that means nothing to me.
Oh,
Why did I play a horror game? I hate horror games more than I
I
hate
don't play
horror
horror games.
movies.
Oh my god, fun fact. I used to have The Grudge on the Wii.
Why is there a Wii game? Sorry,
I don't know.
Dogs heard that. Why do they have a Wii game?
I don't know. But this is going back years. I'm talking about like, oh god, over a decade ago. Jesus Christ. Me and my friend tried to play it several times, and we only ever got to the same part every time. Then we went, no. It was just, we couldn't do it. It was, you end up, your dog gets off the lead and runs into an abandoned building, and you're just like,
Right.
what the fuck? Yeah, but you end up, and then you go up these metal stairs, and you see the little grudge face. Oh no, not, did I say the ring? I meant the grudge.
The Grudge. You said the Grudge. The
I did
Grudge
say
is
The
the
Grudge.
one with the noise, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I know about the Grudge. I'm just thinking of like horror video games, and again, there's very little I've played. I would really like to play Little Nightmares because it looks very much up my alley, but also I'm a cow.
It's disturbing. I
Yeah.
don't think it's scary. There are moments of like obviously like tense bits, but like just like the character designs of some of the, I was gonna say villains, are just bleh.
Yeah.
I've watched people play it and I'm like, oh god, okay, that's horrible.
I've also never played Bioshock, and I would love to play Bioshock because I feel like it's very much my kind of game. But it's too spooky. It's too spooky for
I
me.
played like the first level.
I know someone recommended that I think Matt recommended that I play. Is it the fourth one?
Mhm.
Bioshock 4. Because that one isn't as like scary.
Yeah, weirdly, like I've watched
Infinite, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, I played like a bit of that one. But I watch people play horror films. Like I watch people play like Dead by Daylight and stuff, obviously, which is like multiplayer.
No.
But I've watched like Phasmophobia, and I love watching Phasmophobia, and I love trying to guess because I love like the ghost lore.
Mm.
I don't think I could play it though.
It surprises me that Fletch used to play it because
Yeah,
they are, well, not as cowardly as me, but they're up there. But then they also do Call of Cthulhu D&D night, so yeah.
I would love to see Unhinged Cthulhu Night.
No, absolutely not. After 9 p.m. when I've gone to bed, like
Yeah. We'll do.
I am too much of a little baby to deal with it. And the thing is, normally I can suck it up and deal with it. It's just it stays with me.
The music box last year,
No,
incredible. Even I was like,
So yeah, for people listening, every year Fletcher Kingswood Cosplay does a Call of Cthulhu D&D night one shot, but we keep our characters. So every year, if they survive, they then come back the next year, and we kind of go over what they've done in that year, and they level up. And then we play another night, and then if they survive, they come back the year after that. So we were playing it. Was it last year or the year before? Must have been the year before.
no, last year.
Was it last year?
Last year was my first Cthulhu.
Oh, then it's happened more than once because I remember it happening at Fletcher. And basically, Fletcher has themed music, and it got to the point where I was like, "You're gonna have to turn the music off because it's too scary for me."
The red light.
Yeah.
It was,
So the other time we played, I think we still had the music on, and we had just got like slightly freaked out, and then friggin' Pudge, Fletcher's parents' cat, set off the security light outside, and we all like lost our shit.
oh my god, incredible.
But yeah, last year when we played, when we got to the spooky bit, because it started all like fairly normal, and when we got to the spooky bit, Fletch had like red lighting, and if we got snatched into the abyss, you had to go and sit in the black, like dark void room.
Oh yeah.
Although we did rescue most of you out of the void.
I think it was just me, you, and Nat left at one point.
I never went. Yeah.
I didn't go in there.
Yeah,
funny.
so I look forward to it every year, and my character is still alive.
I love the fact he's a coward as well.
Well, I knew I wouldn't be able to play a brave character, so and this was my first ever introduction to playing D&D. So I was like, I need to play a coward because I am a coward, and if I want to stay in character, I need to be a coward because that's who I am as a person. And if I get scared, I'm not gonna be able to stay in character. So he's basically Rincewind from.
Oh my god, he is.
Yeah, he's part Rincewind, part like Moist von Lipwig, I guess, but he's the con man who's a coward.
He's great. I have a new character coming.
Oh, do you? I need to level Guy up because I need to think about what he's done after last year because we finished in Paris. And annoyingly, well, not annoyingly, but my character is one that's been from the start. I don't think there's many others that have come.
No.
Only Maddie's who has dipped in and out. So in the last campaign, a lot of the characters were like, "Oh, you've done this before. You should be the leader." And I was like, "Absolutely not. I'm a coward." So I need to like make sure it works in a way that maybe I'll give him amnesia or something. But
oh, he's had a traumatic bang to the head.
yeah. I am really tempted. So again, for people that have not heard me talk about Guy Mansley before, Guy Mansley, my D&D character, is actually a 1950s housewife who dresses up as a man. So I do want to like maybe one time just throw Fletcher for a loop and turn up as I've forgotten her name when she's.
Oh, the actual woman.
She's
That'd be
called.
so funny.
Oh, I can't remember her name. I'm gonna have to dig out her character
And
sheet.
this time, her husband's gone missing.
Because I never use her, I've never played her as she actually is. I've forgotten her name. Oh, it's gonna really annoy me.
Oh, it's probably like Annette Womansley or something.
No, it's not. It's not. It's actually just like it's something Draper. Because I was thinking,
right, yeah.
Because I couldn't think of like 50s.
Draper, I hardly know her.
Yeah, well, it was because of Mad Men. Because I was like,
okay.
What's his surname from the 50s? Draper. I can't think. It begins with M, I think. But yeah, anyway, so we'll dig her out. But I wouldn't do that to Fletcher. Anyway, that's what I'm doing for my Halloween.
Yeah.
And I'd ask you what you're doing for your Halloween, but you are also coming to D&D.
I am, yeah. With Dave. That's what you're getting.
But yeah, so that's my Halloween plans.
Do you know the night we're playing Cthulhu, it is not only a blood moon, but is also a lunar eclipse.
Excellent. The blood moon rises. I hope Fletcher uses that in the D&D.
They are aware of it. We both send a TikTok about it to each other at the same time. We're like, oh.
That is when you send the same TikTok to each other.
Oh, we do it all the time.
I love that. We don't really have a Halloween themed episode coming out, do we?
No.
This is the Halloween episode.
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
You can do anything on actual Halloween, which is like a Tuesday or something. Tuesday, innit?
No, my friend always has a Halloween house party, but in the most recent years, it's been clashing with Call of Cthulhu. So I'm hoping that they'll have it on a Friday this year, because then I can go to it. Which is what I did. I think I did it last. One year I managed to do, the Halloween party on the Friday and then Call of Cthulhu on the Saturday. And I was also asked to judge at a cosplay competition, and I had to be like, I'm really sorry, I'm playing D&D. Which made me feel very nerdy. But yeah, so I don't actually have any plans for actual Halloween. I'm doing pumpkin carving at work though. So
Oh, that's cute. I want to carve a pumpkin at some point.
yeah, I really enjoy doing it, and I love doing it at work because they they scoop all the insides out for you, and they just give you the ready to carve pumpkin.
Oh, the half the fun is the goop.
Yeah, but it takes so long. We only have like a 40-minute lunch break.
Oh, you
But I
don't
need
get... Oh, no, I do it I wouldn't do it in my lunch break.
no, we have to do it all. So I need to think of a fun design because last time I did it at work before the pandemic, I actually won.
Nice.
And I got like a 20 quid gift voucher. So I was like, excellent. So I want to win. I need to keep my crown.
I just do your traditional triangle face.
I
Triangle
did
eyes,
I
triangle
did the
nose.
Cheshire Cat last time.
Mm.
So I need to beat the Cheshire Cat.
Can you do Jack, the Pumpkin King?
Maybe.
I've seen someone carve like Myers into it, and I'm just like, what the
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
fuck?
The party's a Saturday. Now I'm sad.
Boo.
Why am I going why am I listed as going? Oh. I really like their house party as well, but
Oh, I wonder if we're playing D&D on that Tuesday. It's a Tuesday.
yeah.
I'm gonna message Jack and be like, "What up? Spooky episode. It's Halloween." If anyone's
Okay.
wondering, Jack is our DM.
Yeah. This has kind of devolved from a spooky podcast to just me and Sib talking about our weekend.
I love Halloween. All right, Halloween's great. I
It
was
is.
so sad today. I went into town shopping and I went to TK Maxx, who's known for having good spooky shit. The amount of Christmas stuff that has taken
Oh
over
my god. In
makes
B&M
me
today,
sick.
that's what I'm putting in Control Alt Delete.
What?
I'm putting Christmas in stores before Halloween.
Mm.
The 1st of November, you can put all the Christmas stuff you like on the shelf.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
Before Halloween, there shouldn't be nary a Christmas thing on the shelf.
Mm.
So I'm literally
Yep.
writing now Christmas decorations
Before the first of November.
Yeah. Christmas decorations before Halloween. Illegal.
We got our first Christmas advert on YouTube the other night, and I was like, "Bleh."
Absolutely not.
Like, I swear to God, if I see anyone cosplay a Christmas outfit in October at MCM, I will set you alight.
I mean, so MCM Brum, I'm doing 2 Christmas themed cosplays potentially. One depending. Well, none of them are done yet. I have 4 cos plans, and none of them are done.
Or
Well, 3 of them are backup for each other. So if I don't get Link done, then it'll be Tink.
Link Tink.
Yeah, and then if I don't get
Oh,
Peach
you got
done,
that cute fabric.
yes.
Yeah.
And if I don't get Peach done, then it will be Tink, because I know I can make Tink in a night. So she will always be a good backup option.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
she is still in a bag from Japan.
Oh.
So
It's alright. It's fine. You got time.
it's fine. Yeah. So those are my plans for Birmingham. That's Christmas. We're not talking about Christmas, we're talking about Halloween.
No.
I'm excited to see all the spooky cosplays at MCM October.
I am as well.
Most people do spooky.
Yes. I realise, because I live in my skeleton joggers that I wore last Halloween. They're glow in the dark. And I was like, I could wear those to MCM
Do it.
and be
Do
so comfy.
Do it.
I say that like I'm not wearing them right this second, because
Okay.
I literally wear them daily. I do wash them. I just want to put that out.
That's the title for this episode. I do wash them. And on that note, I feel like we didn't even do the intro. You realise?
Yeah,
we went straight into it. We didn't even do the. We have listen.
Ralph.
It's all your fault. We have lost the plot since our little break.
We have. We're doing so well.
We were doing really well, so I feel like we should cut ourselves a little break.
Thanks for listening. I've been Siobhan.
And I've been Lydia.
We've not had a guest. We've talked about Halloween because this is a random episode, so I hope you've enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, we might do a Christmas version, maybe, but not before the 1st of November. That can get fucked.
As much as we hate Christmas before Halloween, we are now, in the lead up to Christmas, going to do a virtual artist alley where we get our guests to pick a number and each one corresponds to a small, creative, independent store we found and love. So I'm going to ask Sib, pick a number from 1 to 40.
Number 4.
Number 4. Well, I mean, perfect, because that is at 5boos_, who do the cutest little cats and ghost themed accessories and clothing. They have a pin club, which is absolutely adorable. So check them out on Instagram at 5boos_, and go and support a small independent creative today. Enjoy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
Ooh. Spooky noises.
Ooh.
Ooh. You can find us on all social media platforms under Control Alt Cos, or alternatively go to controlaltcos.co.uk/socials and see them all there. You can listen to the podcast at Control Alt Cos on both Spotify and YouTube, or ad-free, plus a day early, apart from this week, over on Patreon. Patreon members will also gain exclusive access to the outtakes and stories that didn't quite make it into this episode. Next time, our guest, I believe, is Coco C0C0.
Yes.
So enjoy that sneak peek. And we'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
One thing that always bothered me is people who like pass the brush. It also goes for the Kevin passes the Kevin trend, which is very, very similar. And it's when people like, someone will pass the brush up out of frame and then the next person doesn't reach for it from that same direction. And I'm just like, please, you had one job. It was the brush being passed the correct way.
That is, honestly, that's 100%. Those are the things you gotta have in your guidelines, because if you just let people go for it, it's gonna be every which where. I'm always very specific, like, film only this way with the back camera, and make sure you hold it for a certain amount of time so that for the editor it's easier.
Yeah. I did throw my brush the right way, but if you watch my reveal, my brush changes hands, and I didn't notice till like 2 years later.
Oh my god!
It starts in my right hand, and then when it kept pulling my hand away, it's in Tinkerbell's left hand, and I never noticed. And I was like, "Well, no one said anything."
It's the fairy magic. That's all it is.
Want to see your favourite cosplayer or photographer on the show? Get in touch at info@controlaltcosplay.co.uk.